He talked to me in, I don't know, maybe 2006, 2007, when he left Mainz. He said, the most important is not what the people think about you when you come. The very important thing in your whole life is what does the people think about you if you leave.
I think he has Glatten still in his heart. He never forgot his roots.
He is the king, he is the founder, he is our God. It started with him, everything started with him.
I was getting the first messages from fans saying I already missed the guy.
The energy, the feeling, the style of football is still very much there. There's a big imprint that he left.
Jürgen's changed Liverpool pretty much forever. He's added something to the club's DNA.
And when he leaves, he'll be totally revered and right up there with the historical figures at the football club.
In the back you see the beginning of the SV Glatten Sportwoche.
Unser Sportverein zum Beispiel veranstaltet jedes Jahr die größte Veranstaltung mit über 6 Tagen, ein Sportfestival. Tagsüber wird Fußball gespielt und so kommen wirklich viele Gäste zu uns nach Glatten. Ich sage immer, die Sportwoche ist die 5. Jahreszeit.
We shoot in 36 teams here and the winner gets 250 euros. So it's a very interesting penalty tournament. 6 groups do in the beginning, and later on there goes the quarterfinals and the semi-finals and the big final at 9:30, I think. So this is a really big event for us here.
Ich denke, Fußball ist natürlich vor allem durch Jürgen Klopp hier bei den Jugendlichen die wichtigste Sportart. Also Sie werden das sehen, wenn Sie dann über die Sportwoche hier sind und Filmaufnahmen machen, dass sehr viele junge Kinder mit BVB-Trikot rumrennen und einfach in Jürgen Klopp ihr Idol sehen.
I met him actually at the party. Yeah, it was cool. He just saw me and said, "Okay, you really look like your mom. Don't just nothing. Do you have nothing from your dad? You really look like your mom." And it was a comment as he saw me. It was fun. So he's absolute normal guy.
Also selbstverständlich, wir sind natürlich auf Jürgen Klopp mehr als nur stolz. Er ist das Aushängeschild unserer Gemeinde.
I think he has Glatten still in his heart because he is one from here. But there is no time to come back often. We know this, and but we know also that he thinks about it, how it was here, and he never forgot his roots.
Schon stolz ist, wo er aufgewachsen ist. Und ich glaube, er ist stolz darauf, dass er ein Dorfjunge ist, der es zu etwas gebracht hat. Und ich glaube, er schämt sich nicht für uns und auch nicht für das, dass er auf dem Land groß geworden ist. Ich denke, dass er das tatsächlich als Teil von seinem Leben sieht und auch als Teil seiner Stärke sieht, was er hier als Jugendlicher erleben durfte. Und das macht uns natürlich auch stolz, ist ja logisch.
At first it was incredible because the stadium was pretty small. 22,000 people only there, and we were building it bigger and bigger part by part. But if you want to get a ticket for the whole season, they were standing 2 kilometers to get this ticket, and it was every match was completely booked for years.
When they went to the UEFA Cup, they didn't go there because of where they finished in the table, but because of a sort of fair play thing that the UEFA has.
We were playing international because we were the fairest team, and that was incredible also because all the fans and the team were flying to, for example, Armenia, to Yerevan, and I think these people, they thought we are completely crazy, and we went to Iceland with the team and to Spain.
The club actually tried to get as many fans as possible to the games, and they tried to arrange things. The home games had to be played in Frankfurt, yeah, sure, that was something that a couple of years before that nobody could have ever imagined for the club.
It was a dream, and we reached this dream. We never could imagine to reach this level.
All the supporters were really proud, because now we were known in Europe. But later on, we were known worldwide, and nobody was interested that we played in the European Championship. But we discovered Jürgen Klopp. That is all. That's great.
Ich habe 3 Tage geweint. Aber gut, es war klar, dass er irgendwann mal geht. Aber für mich selbst war es genauso wie für die Fans eine Katastrophe. Wir haben am Staatstheater 25.000 Menschen geweint.
Wir haben natürlich hier in diesem Verein alles erlebt. Das war ein kleiner Verein und ja, ich glaube, wir zusammen mit vielen anderen haben es geschafft, einen Bundesliga-Verein hier in Mainz zu platzieren. Und wir haben so viel gemeinsam erlebt und das prägt natürlich. Und also ich glaube, Jürgen Klopp ist der bekannteste 05er hier in Mainz und ich bin wahrscheinlich der zweitbekannteste, weil wir in diesem Club einfach alles erlebt haben und das schweißt zusammen, das ist durch nichts zu toppen.
He is normal, and he's a part of the city, and everybody loves him, because coming to this place, nobody, it is quite different. They accept that Kloppo is private.
I'm sure if he would stay in Liverpool, he can't cross the street. It's traffic like this. All the people leave their cars, want to have selfies, and he can't go into a restaurant, and the same in Dortmund. That's not possible. But in Mainz, he's grown up from an unknown player, from a young coach, to a successful man. But the kind of the Mainz people is, they don't want to have a superstar, they want to have a friendly neighbor. And this is, Jürgen want to come back, I'm sure, because the people love him. They say, "Hi Jürgen," and that's all. He can go into a restaurant, no man would take some selfies. This is the reason. The people love him, but they don't touch him.
Jürgen Klopp ist immer noch in Mainz ein Heiliger. Kann man klar und deutlich sagen.
Ich wünsche euch von ganzem Herzen, das Allerbeste. Vielen Dank für jeden einzelnen Moment, den ich mit euch erleben durfte. Vielen, vielen Dank.
Das Tragische ist, der Champions League Sieg in Wembley wäre the cherry on the cake gewesen. Das wäre sozusagen, es war auf eine Art tragisch, es war auf eine Art auch schön, weil die Spieler standen da so Schulter an Schulter an Schulter vor den Fans. Man hatte verloren, aber so richtig verloren hatte man auch nicht, sondern das Gefühl, bei Borussia Dortmund Teil dieser Geschichte zu sein, war vielleicht noch dichter, es war vielleicht noch intensiver, als es bei einem Erfolg gewesen wäre. Wer weiß.
In 14, they still have a good season. They nearly win the cup, and they do well in the Champions League again. It's only the following season, 14-15, when results suddenly crash.
Er kam sehr früh, glaube ich, nach der Winterpause und hat uns den Beschluss mitgeteilt.
We just weathered the storm. And the worst was behind the club. He wasn't even taking the club back into Europe, you know, after just a couple of months after being in a relegation spot. So that's why it came as a total shock to most people. And I was watching the press conference, and while the press conference was still on, I was getting the first messages from fans saying, "I already missed the guy." Let me put it this way, to give you an idea of how much they loved Klopp at that point and how much Klopp meant to the club. I would say 90% of all Dortmund's fans would have gladly gone to the second division with Klopp. Yeah, myself included. Until unless you have somebody like Klopp, that's when you realize how important a coach can be to a club. You know, not just in terms of what the players are doing on the pitch, but you know, he's the face of the club. He is the person who represents your club to the outside world. You know, he talks to the media and everything.
Jürgen Klopp is a benchmark for Borussia Dortmund for, I think, minimum the next 10, 20, 30 years.
Every coach who comes in at Dortmund is now immediately, you know, it's probably the first thing you hear is, well, he's not like Klopp, you know. So they're all being compared to Klopp, which is very, very difficult for a coach.
Das ist the problem of the Jürgen Klopp story, that afterwards there's no one like him.
Also auf einer Stufe mit Ottmar Hitzfeld. Also Hitzfeld hat ja damals mit Dortmund die Champions League gewonnen, wurde auch zweimal Deutscher Meister und ich denke, die beiden stehen auf einer Stufe. Vielleicht ist die Leistung bei Klopp noch einen kleinen Tick größer, auch wenn man es kaum vergleichen kann, weil er den Verein noch aus einem tiefen Loch herausgeholt hat. Und aus diesem Loch bis zur Meisterschaft, bis zum Champions League-Finale, bis zum Pokalsieg zu führen.
Well, he's certainly the most popular coach we've ever had. And we've had quite a few popular coaches. When you ask a normal Dortmund fan, he would probably say that Klopp was the most successful coach we ever had, which is technically not correct, because he didn't win the Champions League, but it feels like that, you know? In a way, it feels as if we're supporting a club that has, if not invented, then at least reinvented by Klopp.
One of my favourite moments, like following Liverpool, especially with Klopp, was the semi-final in the season just gone. I remember walking into the ground, I was in the upper tier that day, so going up all the stairs and stuff, and coming down them, and that song, and his song just belting out, and it was new, and it was everyone in unison. that day was like the moment where you were like, under him, anything is possible. Like, it is April, it's Easter weekend, and we're talking about winning 4 trophies, and the team that we're chasing in one of them, and as an obstacle in this one, we're just blown away. And I felt like we're just blown away in this. You know, we can do whatever here. You know, that day was the day where I thought, like, how lucky are we to have him? And like, no matter what happens, players come and go, but as long as we've got him, things will be all right, and we'll stay at this top table and we'll stay competing for all the trophies.
We had to make the decision early whether we had a parade or not before we knew what was going to happen with the league and the Champions League. And like a few of us said, I think we should regardless. You know, we didn't get to celebrate the league title with the fans, and it'd be important to do that and thank them for the, you know, travelling all around Europe, all 4 tournaments, the amount of money they've spent. And the manager was on board with that. He agreed fully. Having lost a league title in that manner and then a Champions League final, you can obviously feel, you know, how we felt. And the fans felt, you know, exactly the same. But then to decide to do it, and what we saw the day after losing a Champions League final was, you know, absolutely mind-blowing, really. And, you know, I think Hendo said it was one of the best days of his life, the day after losing a European Cup final.
When I sit with my dad and his mates, the way they talk about Shankly, it's like they're all 10 again. And they're all talking like they're all excited little kids. And I feel like I'll be like that talking about Klopp in years and years to come. Even when he signed the contract, you're still thinking, oh, when he gets to the end, I hope he signs another 2 or 3 years after that.
What other teams are going to build, yeah?
Yeah. And it's like, you just don't want the ride to ever end, do you? Because it's just been the best.
We've been privileged to have him here as our manager. And when he leaves, he'll be totally revered and right up there with the historical figures at the football club.
Jürgen's changed Liverpool pretty much forever. He's added something to the club's DNA, and I don't think it's happened anywhere else, anywhere near as powerfully, in going right the way back possibly to Busby, Shankly, Steen, that sort of era, as Jürgen has had at Liverpool. It's not to say that he'll be, from the year 2000 to the year 2050, the most successful Liverpool manager in terms of the trophies won, in terms of what's lifted. It's to say instead that he's come to this place, he's changed this place, he's found these people, he's changed these people. There's been this football club and he's changed this football club. So whatever happens from this point, it's different forever.
In a simple world, he's worldly. He sees the world bigger than just football. He sees what football means to people, but he understands their situation. He's obviously leans to the left and from a perspective of socialism, which plays incredibly well into our beliefs as Liverpudlians and our fans around the world. But his interests and his life are bigger than just football. But he takes that life and those interests into the world of football, life lessons, motivation.
As a person, he's made a huge difference, especially with the captaincy, and how to deal with that. And again, a lot of people would compare us to Stevie early on, but the gaffer knew that I was my own person, and he tried to help us as much as possible and said I was taking too much responsibility on my shoulders for certain things, and really helped us on that side as well. So yeah, he's had a huge influence on my career as a footballer, but he's also had a huge influence as me as a person and as an individual, and again, I'm just very lucky to have worked under him for so long.
I was playing for the national team before, so I was an experienced Bundesliga player. And then there was Mats Hummels, who is now one of the greatest probably in the sport. But back then he was 18 years old and shouldn't really talk back to a guy like me on the pitch. And so we had a little interaction on the pitch, and Jürgen stopped the practice, got us all together, kind of stopped us doing what we're doing, then finished the whole practice. And I was furious. I was furious because I couldn't see how he could not be on my side telling the young kid to just shut it and then that's it. I remember taking a quick shower, getting into the car, and on the way home I had to call Jürgen because I said, I can't accept that. And I told him, Jürgen, you can't do that. You have to be. And he said, no, but listen, he has to perform and play against, I don't know, let's say Bayern Munich on Saturday. How can I belittle him now and then expect him to perform like a strong man? I can't do that. You have to understand, I can't. And these kind of exchanges, these kind of talks, I really appreciated that always because he was just honest and it was understandable. It was hard to accept, but it was understandable because he was honest and he could explain why things have to be like they have to be.
For me as a player, I think when you're not playing, you're on the way out, it can sometimes be a bit tricky. But he was great. He was professional and honest, and players respect that and they appreciate when you're honest, even if you maybe don't agree with it. And he was, and I think that's why, over the years, players want to go play for him.
If I enjoyed a manager more than him, I'd be surprised, be the way I'd say it, because just the whole experience with him has been absolutely amazing. For him to show that faith and that trust in me and give me them opportunities, I could never repay it. So I think to him, I owe everything. Obviously, a lot of hard work has gone into it myself, but you need that opportunity, and you see a lot of talented players who don't get that. So I'm fortunate to have a manager that believed in me from the very start and gave me that trust and allowed me to express myself on the pitch and brought the best out of me. And yeah, it's been an amazing journey with him, and hopefully there's many more ups.
Everybody I talk to really has their own Klopp story, which has nothing to do with television or radio or whatever, because they've all met him somewhere. After a game or during, when you're giving an autograph or whatever, might have met him on the streets.
There are very funny stories with Jürgen, but it's not for this camera.
Maybe I shouldn't tell you this. He liked to drink a beer after the match, or 2 or 3, even 4. And this never changed. We know him, we met him in the pub very often, and we had whip cards also. So after the match he came and we had a beer together.
This is what the people love and know. Jürgen is a pure normal.
This makes us love our club and Jürgen and the relationship to him.
I was sitting outside my local pub. It was a real sunny, early evening. He was walking the dog. I was sitting outside with one of my friends, having a couple of pints, and I shouted over to wish him good luck because he had a Champions League final days later, not weeks, days later. I thought he'd be in the zone, he'd be like proper, blah, blah. He's walking his dog, and he said to me, no, go to the bar and get me a pint. He ended up having 2 or 3. He had a couple of smokes. His dog waited patiently, and we had a good crack for probably over an hour, 90 minutes, about football, about life in Liverpool, about his plans for the future. He gave me some nuggets in terms of what he was planning to do in the Champions League final. He was just a real great company to have, and he was fantastic with me mate. He made him feel part of the conversation, and I think that just sums the man up. He's a genuine, humble character who's got a presence and an aura, and at the same time he's one of the most gifted managers there's ever been. That's a special person for me.
Throughout the year we have contact, not too close, maybe sometimes we have 1 year no contact, but then a little bit more regular, and every time we have a chat it's like it was when he was 19, so it's no one ever, some personal infos from experience we made together at that time were made public, and I think the trust he gives into that people and the people give back to Jürgen, I think this is his strategy to get at least a little glimpse of normal life.
I can remember when my father was shortly before he died, Jürgen texted him even at the Champions League final, 2013. Hello Wolfgang, without you I wouldn't be here now in London playing the Champions League final. And I mean, in a day like this, somebody like Jürgen say, listen, that's, yeah, I mean, my father, I think he couldn't read it anymore, the message, but my father's ex-wife just told him, and yeah, I mean, it's really something special. A few days later, my father died, so, but you could see Jürgen is, yeah, it's really something. He thinks, even in these moments, not about his own success. So he's thinking, oh, yeah, I'm here because of you.
Once I was sports director with this Kickers Offenbach, and Dortmund was the second team, was in our league, in the third league. So, and we watched this game, and all of a sudden somebody grabs me and said, come with me. Oh, Jürgen with all the press people, and he was in Dortmund, he was a hero already. What he did with us, Ramon Bernhard, shall I tell you what he did? And all the, you know, Jürgen was famous, and all the people from the TV station, the others from his own assistant coaches were there, and 10 or 12 people in the halftime in any room. And he only talked about me. He didn't say he was a good coach, no, but nevertheless I was proud that he mentioned me. What he did with us, oh no, you can't imagine, and this and that. And he asked me this, and yeah, I was really proud. I was, yeah, okay. The little Ramon Bernhard, and nobody knows me in whole Germany. And so he made me famous for this moment.
Früher, wir hatten nur einen Platz. Hier hinten ist ja mittlerweile sind viele Plätze zum Trainieren, und wir hatten nur einen Trainingsplatz. Und hinten war ein kleiner Hügel und da war noch ein kleiner Garten, und da hat ein Fuchs gelebt, ein Fuchsbau. Und jeden Morgen, wenn wir auf den Trainingsplatz kamen, lag Fuchsscheiße auf dem Platz. Und wir hatten dann irgendwann, der Platz war, ja, der war, weiß der Kuckuck, wo er war nie da. Dann haben wir uns eine Schippe besorgt, und dann stand auf der Schippe lang Fuchsscheißschippe. Und ich habe jeden Morgen die Scheiße weggemacht. Klopper war sich viel zu schade dafür. Auch wenn er sagt, er hätte es weggemacht. Er hat vielleicht gezeigt, hier ist Scheiße. Aber mehr nicht, ich habe es weggemacht.
So obviously me and Jürgen were neighbours. I think Ulam, his wife, must have invited my wife and Jordan's wife round, and we had young kids at the time. So my little boy, who's only 3 or 4 at the time, was around there, and they're in the pool and whatnot. And my lads needed the toilet. So Jürgen's gone, yeah, I'll take him to the toilet, it's fine, I'll take it. He took him to the toilet. I think, obviously, whatever, he's turned around, and my boy's gone, Jürgen, and he's bent down waiting for Jürgen to wipe his backside.
We travel on the plane to wherever away games, particularly lengthy European away games. He put his headphones in, and I'd ask him afterwards, what are you listening to? He said, listening to podcasts. And I'm thinking he's listening to podcasts on, you know, comedy, football, whatever. No. And I always remember this 14th century mid-European history. And I can't remember the exact, but I said, tell me that again. He said, I'm listening to a podcast in German on the 14th century and the way that Europe politically and socially was coming together. And no disrespect to the average football manager, I don't think many of them that's what they're listening to when they're coming back from away games.
For me, it's to get one of his hugs. It's a huge honour, as long as I can breathe. He's a wee bit taller than me, so sometimes I struggle to breathe. I mean, at the cup final, the Carabao Cup final, he gave us a cuddle, and I didn't think I was coming out the other end.
The best manager in football, in my eyes, you know, he doesn't really have to come out and
to a no-mark ragaz who's playing the guitar, you know, round about the ground. He doesn't need to come out and see me and amplify what I'm doing, but he does it because he cares and he realises that we care, do you know what I mean? And that's all he wants. And yeah, what he's done for the club, what he's done for me personally, what he's done for you, what he's done for all of us, it just far exceeds his job title. Do you know what I mean? It really does. His job title is to get the best out of the players on the pitch and be the manager. Do you know what I mean? But it's like he's took on like this role as the father.
I've interviewed a lot of Liverpool managers, and of all of them, Jürgen is the one who it's most easiest to imagine if the universe had gone a different way. He would be sat in the stands, watching his team, having a few drinks before and after and having a fantastic time. The easiest by some distance to imagine.
Ich glaube, Jürgen Klopp kennt fast jeder Mensch auf der Welt, kennt ihn. Dass man sich nach außen teilweise etwas anders geben muss, das ist völlig normal. Aber als Typ, als Mensch ist er noch genauso der Jürgen Klopp, den ich vor 21 Jahren mal zum Trainer gemacht habe. Der hat sich nicht verändert. Und deswegen sind wir auch so gute Freunde, weil er einfach so ist, wie er ist. Und immer geblieben ist.
Mainz, Dortmund, Liverpool. It couldn't be better. All these clubs have the same heart. It's a pure football heart.
If anyone else had been appointed as Liverpool manager at the time that he was, we would not have won what we have won. And even if we did, we wouldn't have enjoyed it as much.
It was very, very special. It was the best time of our football life, the best time of Borussia Dortmund.
I think for him football is a lot more than just the game on the pitch and just the result of that game.
He is the king, he is the founder, he is our God. It started with him, everything started with him.
Experiencing the stuff we experienced together, there's a certain bond, and it will stay that way.
He knows your soul, or feels your soul, or feels the soul of the players.
He believed in me straight away, and that gave me the confidence to be myself.
I think the amount of games I've played left back and right back says everything what I think about the manager and what you do for him.
But whenever I feel the need to, I give him a text, he replies instantly, and I could always ask him for a favor.
He is one of those people who give you the impression that when you're talking to them, you are the most important person on this planet.
He never forgot his roots.
I don't say he is like God because I know he hates this. He want to be just the normal one. The most popular man in Mainz is the bishop. Mainz is a very Catholic city, and the bishop is he is like God. Maybe if there would be a choice, who will be the next president? Of course, Jürgen, not the bishop.